Good evening, everyone. My name is Shirley Chavez. I am pleased to begin this presentation of our research article entitled the Positive Impact of Using Audiovisual Technology on Development of Communicative Skills in seventh grade students in a public school in Loja City. Next, please. Okay, introduction. The purpose of this research was to analyze how audiovisual technology can possibly influence the development of communicative skills in seventh grade students for a public school in Loja. The motivation behind this study comes from a common challenge in classroom. Many students often feel unmotivated and disengaged when lessons are delivered through traditional methods. This led us to ask ourselves what will happen if we integrate an visual resource such as a video, audios, and dynamic presentation in the teaching process. This research is important because one, it improves comprehension by combining images and sounds. Students are able to retain knowledge more effectively. Two, it increases motivation and participation. Audiovisual make class more interactive, engaged, and enjoy. Three, in support education innovation, today's classroom require now strategies that respond to students' different learning styles. In short, the introduction highlights that audiovisual tools not only modernize teaching, but also provide real opportunities to communication and in the classroom. Next. Okay. Literature review. To support our research, we review several previous studies that explore the impact of audiovisual resources. From this review, we identify the three main points. First, motivation and attention. Different authors agree that audiovisual material captures students' attention more effectively than traditional resource. They create a learning environment where students stay focused and show more interest in class activities. In other words, students do not only listen to the teacher, but also see and hear the content in action. Second, the development of communication skills. Research shows that videos, audios, track, and other multimedia research, listening, comprehension, explain vocabulary, and improve oral fluency by being exposed to automatic language input. Students are able to communicate more confidently and naturally. Three, motive and skills learning. Audiovisual combine visual and auditory and textual elements which prove a rich learning experience. This is especially important because every student learns differently. Some are more visual, others are more auditory. In this sense, audiovisual resources make learning more accessible and inclusive. And summary, the literature review confirms that our audiovisuals are not just a complement, but a powerful tools to communicate competence. Next, please. Okay, methodology. In order to the test ideas, the study followed a mixed method approach, combine quantity and quality perspectives. Participants, the research was carried out with seventh grade students from a public school in Loja, as well as teachers who collaboration in the income implementation of audiovisual resources. Instruments used include a pre and post test to assess students' perception and attitudes, oral and written tests to measure comprehension and production skills before and after the intervention, classroom observation to record a student's level of participation, motivation, and interaction, interviews and focus group to collect more experience and opinions for both students and teachers. The process was the development in their state. One, first, pre-test was applied to identify the initial level of students, and then the intervention phase took place where audiovisual activities such as videos, audios, and dynamic presentation were employed over several weeks. And finally, a post-test was to measure to progress and compare results. This methodology allows us to clearly demonstrate the impact of audiovisual technology on the community skills of seventh grade students. To conclude my part, I would like to this research was not only about integrating technology in the classroom, but about demonstration how audiovisual resources can transform learning and strengthen communication skills among students. Now, I will give the floor to my colleague who will presentation the results and conclusion of our study.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the participants. For participants, we took account of different people, in this case, 45 boys and 25 girls, the total of 70 students. About the age, we were talking about students between 11 and 12 years old. And they were studying on seventh grade of school. And we were talking about a level A1 of English. All the learners had a stable and permanent access to the internet in the institution. Therefore, students had no problems to start with audiovisual technological practice. Okay, about the instruments that we use here for this part, we were talking about first as a survey, where participants complete a questionnaire detailing their daily routines as a topic, the morning, the afternoon, in the evening. Okay? Another instrument was direct observation. Students, we were talking about students' behavior, attitudes, manners, and communication skills. And direct observation, subsequent assessments to monitor progress. Okay? Now, daily by daily and daily. Now, we're talking about initial evaluations were conducted at the beginning of the academic year to gauge participants' baseline knowledge with subsequent assessments to monitor the programs. Rubric. In the rubric, we talk about different kinds, for example, fluency, accuracy, vocabulary, and organization. Right? It was applied during both the pre-test and the post-test that we are talking about now. The pre-test It consisted in work in teams at the beginning of the all the study that we did. Okay? Students were grouped into teams of four and tasked with presenting their daily routines, using slides containing only images, allowing classmates to pose questions. And finally, the post-test. The post-test students, in this case, the post-test students organized into groups and upload podcasts to YouTube, discussing their daily routines and responding to questions tailored to their English proficiency levels. This format allowed instructors to evaluate performance based on the established rubric and students' creativity. Okay, so in this part, students could upload and discuss this topic, and they had a debate at the end. Okay, now when about the design procedure and data analysis. We divided into two important parts. We're talking about an action research study. It involves a process of identifying a problem, planning an intervention, uh, taking action, and observing the results. So we are talking about a quantitative and qualitative, a mixed research. Okay? And we took account something important, the Likert scale. It's a survey research method to measure attitudes, opinions, or perceptions through a series of statements with a symmetric range of response options. What is that? Look at this example. We have a range of values. For example, we have uh, 4, 01 to 5, we are talking about interpretation of very high. 3 or 1 to 4, high. 2 or 1 to 3, we are talking about a moderate level. 101 to 2, allow. And 001 to 1, we are talking about something that is very low. Okay. So, we're going to talk about the different kinds of results. Here, we realize the following tables present the results obtained from the study, summarizing the keys finding in a clear and organized format. For example, we have criteria: feel motivated when the teacher teaches English class in an interactive way. Okay? Understand the new vocabulary that the teacher uses in the lessons. Okay? Find it difficult to understand. Show confident while using English in the class. Learn new words in English outside the classroom. Improve my vocabulary with the guide activities. Think learning English will help me in the future, and use technological tools to learn English during free time. Here you have the scale here, and you can see. Now, and pre and post the post test. Here we have another kind of criteria here. So this is the results. These are the results that we took in this article here. Okay, now we're going to continue with the next part of our article with our classmate. Conclusions.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to talk about conclusions about this article. Basically, one of the main things about this article that it had a positive impact on communicative skills. Also, the students had greater enthusiasm regarding class participation, which is a good way to to manage the class. So in this way, they can have a better learning process. Also, there were more confidence when speaking and interacting, which is the best part because we are trying to enhance speaking skills, right? So also, the class is more dynamic and supportive learning environment, and communication becomes easier and less daunting. So in sum, the usage of technology in class had a great positive impact for developing communicative skills when teaching English as a second language. Next, please. Okay, now regarding to recommendations, we can say that the usage of technology can distract the students. Therefore, it is important to plan the activities aligned with the objectives and the students' needs. So we have to, as thing in order to plan, in order to add the technology that we are going to develop during our lesson class. Also, we have to keep in mind that motivation is the goal when using technology in class. Constant reinforcements by using audiovisual materials too is a basic. So we recommend, right, to use also to vary that methodologies in class because you know that since there are different students' needs, we cannot just only focus on one methodology. That is why it's so important that when using technology, we can vary this. Also, ongoing assessment in English lessons helps knowledge and progress, addresses emotional factors, and focuses on solving challenges to enhance language skills. So this is so important to write, to keep track of the students' development because in consideration the students' emotions. This is so important. Once you evaluate it, it doesn't mean that's the real result. So that's why we as a teachers we recommend, right? Next one, please. Finally, this is the last part of our article about limitations. So, as a qualitative study at a public education institution in Loja, future researchers may be affected by personal bias in small and representative samples. Also, data collection and findings cannot be easily generalized due to the interpretative nature of the approach. The quality of analysis also relies largely on the researcher's expertise. Also, audiovisual technology benefits education and communication but has drawbacks. Also, reliable internet and modern devices are necessary, which may be inaccessible for some. In this case, in this institution, right, as my coworker said, this was not that difficult. However, we have to take into consideration this because there are some places where the internet is not like really good. So we need to keep in mind this when applying technology to our lesson class. Also, technical issues can interrupt learning, and excessive use can make the students passive. So this is another factor that we can find as a teachers, right? When we use technological devices, so we have to even have like a plan B lesson, so we can continue with the class. Also, not all material suits audiovisual formats and adapting resources takes time. So as we know as a teachers, well, we need to take the time to plan the lesson. So in this article, we didn't have any technology, so this is a good thing. So but keeping in mind this, when you're gonna apply maybe in the future as a reference, keep in mind this limitation that can be found. Also, different learners may need varied instructional approaches beyond audiovisual methods. Also, as I said before, right, as a teacher, we have so many approaches. So need to take account so we can technology. So as we see have seen so far, right, about this article, my partners also presented. So we are really thankful to work on this, and I hope all of you can find them in our publication and have as a reference for future research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That was our presentation of the article. Thank you very much.